It's Thursday, February 27th.
Get off the bar and get on the wall. What's my name?
Popeye Doyle. If he doesn't like you, he'll take you apart. And it's all perfectly legal.
Breaking news out of Hollywood. Academy Award-winning actor Gene Hackman has been found dead along with his wife, Betsy Arakawa. They were found at their home in New Mexico. Police don't believe foul play was a factor.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet, even. So, yeah, it's all in this crazy world, and there's a lot happening down south as well, so I feel like it's all muddled.
Time to decide. It is Election Day in Ontario. Polls open at 9 a.m. They'll stay open to 9 p.m. Doug Ford's PCs are hoping to earn a third straight majority government.
The big transaction is April 2nd, but the fentanyl-related things, they're working hard on the border. At the end of that 30 days, they have to prove to the president that they've satisfied him.
Is it April 2nd or is it March 4th? U.S. President Donald Trump has made so many tariff threats, even he seems to have trouble keeping up.
Stage separation confirmed.
NASA heading back to the moon with a lunar lander right now. The astronauts, well, they'll come later. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
Hey, everybody. I'm Teddy Wilson. Happy Friday Eve. Happy Thursday.
Happy Friday Eve. Happy Thursday indeed. And good morning. I'm Winston C. in for Kelsey today, tomorrow, and all next week as well. So it's great to be back with you, too.
It's great. Guys, I don't know if I've been on a panel with two gentlemen.
Hello. Oh, gentlemen.
In a very long time.
Thank you for saying I'm a gentleman. Yeah.
It's nice to have both of you. It is March, so a lot of, March break plans with family plans. So you're going to see a really fun group of people coming in and out over the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's going to be a mix. Super fun. All right, let's turn to some of the top headlines we're following this morning. And we'll begin with that sad breaking news from Hollywood. Academy Award-winning actor Gene Hackman has been found dead along with his wife, Betsy Arakawa, at their home in Santa Fe.
All right, Popeye's here. Get your hands on your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall.
So Hackman won an Academy Award for his lead role in The French Connection and for Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. Hackman played more than 100 roles during his long career, including Lex Luthor in the Superman movies of the 70s and 80s. The Santa Fe County Sheriff says Hackman and Arakawa were found dead at their home Wednesday afternoon. Their dog was also found dead with them. The sheriff's office adds that at this time they don't believe foul play was a factor. Hackman was 95 while Arakawa was 64. And the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife also come after the news of Michelle Trachtenberg, who has passed away at the age of 39.
We're turning around. One last battle and the war is won.
Last night was fun.
Trachtenberg is, of course, known for her roles in Gossip Girl, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Harriet the Spy. New York police say officers were called to an apartment in Manhattan Wednesday morning. Trachtenberg was found unresponsive, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Her death is not being treated as suspicious. U.S. President Donald Trump says tariffs on Canadian goods are moving ahead, even though there is some confusion on when.
Mr. President, can you clarify the Canada-Mexico tariffs? You had put that 30-day pause, but you just referred to April.
25%.
25%. When does it go into effect?
April 2nd.
So right after President Trump answered that question, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick jumped in to clarify. He said the original fentanyl-related tariffs are still due to come into effect next week on March 4th, depending on progress at the border. To that end, Canada's Ministers of Immigration, Public Safety, and Ottawa's new fentanyl czar are in Washington this week. They're scheduled to meet with the White House's top border official today. President Trump also had something to say about Wayne Gretzky. He says in a social media post, quote, "Wayne is my friend and he wants to make me happy and is therefore somewhat low-key about Canada remaining a separate country rather than becoming a cherished and beautiful 51st state." The post goes on to say, "He's the greatest Canadian of them all and I am therefore making him a free agent because I don't want anyone in Canada to say anything bad about him." Okay. Party leaders in Ontario have made their final pitches as voters in the province head to the polls today.
Well, I just want to win. I don't look at the numbers. I just want to win. I want to win a majority, a large majority, until we send a message. We send a message down to Donald Trump that we're a force to be reckoned with.
PC leader Doug Ford calling for a stronger mandate that would outlast the current U.S. administration. Ford says he needs to take on possible tariffs coming from the U.S. A majority win for his party would be their third since taking power in 2018.
He said he'd end hallway health care. He didn't get it done. He said he'd cut your taxes. He didn't get that done. He said he'd build 1.5 million homes, and he didn't get that done either.
Ontario Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie pointed to Ford's unfulfilled promises on her final day on the campaign trail. She's made healthcare reform a major part of her first campaign as Liberal leader. Crombie also tried to convince NDP voters into supporting her party with hopes of taking down the Progressive Conservatives.
Your vote has the power to strengthen our public healthcare system and hire more doctors and nurses. Your vote has the power to ensure that we address and fight the rising cost of everything.
Meanwhile, Ontario NDP leader Marit Stiles tried to strike an optimistic tone on her final day of campaigning. Stiles telling voters her party is the only one that could provide real change for people in Ontario. Her final days of campaigning have been all about trying to hold on to seats in Toronto, Hamilton, and Niagara. Polls in Ontario open today at 9 a.m. and close at 9 p.m. Manitoba's government says possible human remains have been identified at a landfill north of Winnipeg. Experts on site have found what are believed to be human remains at Prairie Green landfill. Search efforts there began late last year. It's believed the remains of two Indigenous women, Morgan Harris and Mercedes Myron, were dumped at the landfill more than 2 years ago. Morgan Harris and Mercedes Myron were two of the four women killed in the spring of 2022 by convicted serial killer Jeremy Skibitsky. RCMP have now opened a found human remains investigation, and steps are underway to identify them. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner is also investigating. Well, NASA is on a mission to look for water on the moon.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go intuitive mission.
A rocket carrying a satellite and lunar lander lifted off from Cape Canaveral this morning. The Lunar Trailblazer satellite will keep a lookout from above. The Athena lunar lander will do its work on the surface in search of possible water or ice deposits. Finding water will be key for the Artemis mission, which aims to put astronauts on the moon for longer-term stays. Athena is expected to touch down next Thursday. Well, archaeologists in Pompeii have uncovered rare, nearly life-size frescoes, giving us another look into the religious practices in the ancient city before it was destroyed.
More than 100 years after the discovery of the Villa of the Mysteries outside Pompeii, here's another great frieze about the mysteries of Dionysus.
Features a large-scale frieze that spans 3 walls of a banquet hall. It dates back to between 40 and 30 BC. Pompeii was, of course, famously buried in ash by a deadly eruption on Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD.